Welcome to this tutorial on how to deploy your own multisig solution on the Archway blockchain. Before we start, make sure you're on a Mac or Linux system and have Node version 16 or above installed. Please note that there's a known issue with Node version 20.6. You will also need to have NPM version 8 or above installed. Now let's ensure that all the additional project dependencies are installed. You will need to install both the JQ and Archway CLI packages. For Linux, install the package by executing the following. For Mac OS users with Homebrew, execute the following. Let's now install the Archway CLI package, which is required for executing transactions on the Archway blockchain. We'll be installing version 2 of the package, which is still in beta. Now before going any further, let's configure a default chain ID for the Archway CLI environment. Enter the following command to show the current configuration. The chain ID should not be set by default, but I have already updated my configuration, which is why you see a value set. For our testnet, you would execute the following. For mainnet, you would change the chain ID to Archway-1. With our environment configured, it's time to add at least one account to the Archway CLI key store, which is required for executing transactions on chain. You could also set up additional accounts at this stage if desired, as you will need at least 2 accounts in order to instantiate the multisig contracts. Execute the following command to create a new account. Enter a name for your account and write down the mnemonic phrase displayed and store it in a safe place. You'll need to import this mnemonic into Kepler, for example, to interact with the multisig UI later on. If you want to use an account that you already created, use the recover flag. You will then need to enter the mnemonic of the previously created account to then add the account to the Archway CLI key store. After creating the account, you will need to fund the account with Arch tokens to execute transactions on mainnet, and if you're using the testnet, you will need to get const testnet tokens. You can get const testnet tokens from the Archway Discord testnet faucet. To view your accounts, execute the following command. Where the dependency is set and at least one account set up within Archway CLI, let's clone the multisig repository. Change into the newly created directory and execute the following command to install the packages required by the multisig. Now we need to configure the multisig script that will be used to create the contracts on-chain. This file holds the initial parameters for the new multisig. Some parameters like max voting period in seconds and members can always be amended by the multisig owners, but the other fields are immutable after deployment. The sender account is the account that will sign the transaction. It must be an existing funded account in the Archway CLI key store. This will be one of the accounts created previously. The name is the name of this multisig. It can help to give the multisig application an appropriate label. The description is a short text description of the multisig for reference. The image URL is a URL to an image to be displayed in the UI. The max voting period in seconds is the voting period for multisig proposals expressed in seconds. Members is the members of the multisig, which includes their addresses and voting power. Any number of addresses can be added here, but there must be at least 2 to begin with. So let's deploy the multisig contracts on-chain. In the console, enter the following from the root of your project. If successful, the transaction hash and the resulting contract addresses will be displayed. Also, a new file named multisigcontractsresult.json will be created, containing the resulting contract addresses. These contract addresses will need to be copied into the project's .env file. Now let's set up your multisig environment. You will need to create a .env file from the .env example file and then add the DAO contract values from the results file created previously. Set the runtime environment to either mainnet or testnet. Since this demo has deployed the contracts to the Archway testnet, the value will be set to testnet. Now you can start your development server. Execute the following command: npm run dev. This will set up a local testing server and you will be able to browse the multisig UI by visiting one of the addresses shown. Head over to localhost :3000 to see your multisig in action. And that's it for setting up your multisig application. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy your multisig application on Archway.